Hello everyone, I'm Melissa Dudon. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Trending Vegas. What a year it has been, but slowly things have moved back to normal. We are all sitting at the same table. Yes, we're at 100% capacity at restaurants, bars. It's just such a good time. Everyone's so happy. I'm joined by a portion of the city's communications team, including Diana Paul and Natasha Shahani. How are things for you guys?
Good. It's good to see everyone's face and be sitting close together again. You know, it's really such a breath of fresh air to get out of this. I think a lot of us are feeling that way.
Yeah.
You know.
How's it been for your team in terms of, you guys have been dealing with COVID-19, get the information out, vaccination sites, that's still ongoing, but it feels like some of the wards are bringing back their events, and so what's that like?
It's gone from like moving at a very slow pace for events, not necessarily, we've been on the COVID response, but we weren't doing very many events, and then you blink and June 1st comes and goes, and now like our whole calendar is full, and every day every week there's an opening or a service or a meeting but like I think that all of these new businesses have opened. There's so much going on in the communities. There's events, there's people playing, and it is like people are smiling and people are happy, and it makes me happy. So it's busy but fun.
And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So we have a lot to celebrate. As of June 1st, we are back to 100% capacity, and almost everyone is taking advantage. The Knights games, Fremont Street, restaurants, all have been waiting to get back to normal. Here's a look from CNN. As a giant clock counted down to 12:01 Tuesday morning, crowds cheered as downtown Las Vegas reopened completely for the first time in more than a year, with live music and no mask or social distancing required.
Thing of the past. Maskless tourists celebrating.
You just have to see it in order to believe it.
It feels good though to be back free. Hopefully everybody gets vaccinated and we back out here.
For the first time in over a year, visitors rocked out to live music.
Alex Grady writes, best good news I've heard in 2021. Love Fremont Street. Party style. I'm ready. Now check this video out from somebody inside of Wet Republic on the Strip. They are not worried about anything over there. And of course, this one from Emily Velasquez at Golden Knights, full capacity celebration. So I just think it's so awesome. I do have friends that have taken advantage completely of going to the Golden Knights games since they were at 100% capacity. And she is not the emotional type. And she said, Melissa, I was watching everyone. I almost started crying because I was just so happy it was back to normal. What have you guys been seeing, or any questions you guys have been getting as a communications team, or what have you been seeing on social?
I think right at the beginning it was just a little of like, what can we do, can we not do? But a week into it, a week, a little bit more than a week, and I think people have it's almost as the past year didn't happen. The first few days were a little like, what can we do, what can we not do? But now you're kind of seeing people be more comfortable with it. Of course, it's all about preference, right? So keep your distance if that makes you feel comfortable. Wear a mask if that makes you feel comfortable. So I think we've just been getting like, what can we do, what can we not do in Vegas when we come, especially from the visitors, because still state by state, all of the rules are a little different.
Right,
And I think there's still some confusion, especially initially on mask wearing, and even for myself, especially right after the announcement was made. Most everyone still required a mask because I felt like the businesses were still figuring it out. But even now, there's still businesses that require masks, which is, again, like you said, their preference. So I think we get some questions about, do I have to wear a mask or I don't have to wear a mask? And then we have to explain that it's up to the business. So I think there's still some people that are unclear about that.
And you know what? I've been meaning to look this up, and maybe we'll get back to you guys on the next episode. But, children under the age of 12, are they required to wear masks? Your 9 through 12-year-olds, they can't get vaccinated, or 9 through 11-year-olds can't get vaccinated. So are they required to wear masks in some locations because they're not considered fully vaccinated, but they're still children? I have a 7-year-old at home, and he's panicked about it. We walk into Target and he's like, my mask, I forgot my mask. And he's so trained to just put his mask on. We've been doing it for safety, but I'm not sure where Nevada stands on that in terms of masking up the children. So that's something, do you guys know?
We had some conversations about Safe Key and summer school, or not Safe Key, I'm sorry, summer school and the camps.
I think they were still working through what was going to be the requirement, because remember, just the same with adults, you can't ask children if they've been vaccinated, and they might have to provide their records for school or not, but I think they're still working through some of those things, and once we have information, we'll definitely share.
Absolutely, good to know. But it is a good feeling, especially seeing the Golden Knights. Fremont Street was packed,
I know.
you guys.
And the Arts District on First Friday, it was the first time they could be for full capacity. And I ran into Corey, who's their CEO, and she was just like she was just floating on air, right? It was hot, there was a lot going on, and she was like, we're at 100% capacity, and it feels so great.
Absolutely. Good news. All right, guys, well, let's move on to our next topic, and that is all of the new businesses we're seeing open up in the Arts District specifically. Here's a look from off the strip. Brazewood Barbecue is one of the newest spots in downtown Las Vegas, fusing true Texas barbecue with Mexican staples, smoked brisket, ribs, carnitas, and more from the down-home menu. I'm hungry just saying that out loud. Then there's this grand opening celebration for Courtney Olson's Girl clothing store on Main Street in downtown Las Vegas. Then this new restaurant alert, Soul Belly Barbecue, recently opening in the Arts District, offering items such as salt and pepper brisket, Carolina pulled pork. The list goes on and on, guys. I'm over here drooling a little bit. So there's so many businesses. You talk about what used to be Eclipse Theater, now Art House. How are you guys keeping up with all of this? We had the Brewery Row, it's been crazy.
Yeah, like I said, there's a new opening on our calendars at least every week, and it's super exciting to see that the businesses that opened in the pandemic, which I know you've touched on before, are continuing to thrive, and these new businesses are joining. And I mean, I've circled around the Arts District multiple Fridays now in a row for 15, 20 minutes just trying to find parking at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon before people are like typically off work. It's packed. The restaurants are packed. People are drinking. People are enjoying the arts. And it's so great to see all of these businesses come, because we also know the struggle that they've had, right?
Right.
They were opening and still in the midst of pandemic. Do you open with restrictions? Do you wait to open?
Right.
Construction delays, and to see them all now in the vibrant Arts District, and that's becoming like a whole scene on its own, is incredible.
Yeah, and we know businesses were struggling obviously during the pandemic, so the city had a couple programs where we provided grants to fix up their facades, things like that, to help them recover. And so now that they're opening, it's just really been great for the city to be able to support those businesses. And like you mentioned, Brewery Row, it's kind of a new initiative we created through our economic development department, where we're really trying to encourage these breweries to open downtown. There's several of them now, so you can kind of go from one to another. So that's been really exciting. That's been really embraced by the community, and it's just another amenity to come visit downtown. And now you can, for people that love to drink beer, there's plenty of places to do that.
Yeah, and it's getting national attention. So the New York Times recently did an article about post-pandemic Las Vegas and featured the Arts District, called out businesses in downtown. So it's not just like a, hey, you live here, you know about the Arts District. I think some of what we saw on social were like, uh-oh, now everyone knows our local hangouts, our best kept secrets. But it's because these businesses are demanding the attention on a national level.
I think it's really interesting that you mentioned the city stepping in to help these businesses, because we do a franchise here at Channel 2 called Open for Business. And when we interview these individuals, like at Cerveza, and we just did one on Cream Me Ice Creamery, which just opened this past week, they said that they were able to open because of the grants from the city that helped them, give them that extra protection to open their doors. And it, as a city resident and as also an employee, it made me proud to be like, well, good. I'm so glad the city could step in and help in some way. Diana, do you get those kinds of questions all the time?
We get a lot of businesses thanking us for the work we've done. And there's going to be more funding coming through the federal government. And so hopefully the city's going to be able to do more to even help businesses and even homeowners to recover.
I'm also surprised that so many business owners, kudos to them, they really took the opportunity and they still open.
Yep.
I mean, we're barely, a month? But are we still in a pandemic? Or
yeah,
considered,
I don't know.
I think we're still in a pandemic.
We're still in a pandemic,
Yep.
and they're opening their doors, and you talk about support from the community to get their doors open. So congratulations to them. So we wanted to hear from you guys. We asked you on Instagram, how would you describe the vibe? And here's what some of you had to say. Rag to riches, 100%. That was from our very own Diana Paul. Eclectic, 6.5 out of 10, but definitely getting better. This one says, lively and fun. Can the city give the same vibe to the Boulevard Mall and surrounding areas? Downtown Las Vegas said, you said it best. It's booming. So much growth in the last year, plus a diversity in business. Jenny says, awesome. And 662 Poncho says, giving Vegas a nice new culture. And we also asked you on Twitter to describe the Arts District in 5 words or less. These were some of the responses. Meh, nobody cares. Others were hidden gem with unlimited potential. Bright and artful culture, creative, innovative, inclusive, inspiring. The list goes on and on. Now, there were some that weren't as thrilled, but they used foul language, and so I couldn't put them on air. So, you know, there are differing opinions out there, but the majority of them were really positive, so that's good to hear. All right, guys, let's move on to a more national topic. Professional tennis player Naomi Osaka made headlines in recent weeks after she didn't participate in a news conference in Paris, saying she was watching out for her mental health by skipping. She was fined and threatened by more fines, and this really got people upset on both sides. Here's a look. First, this is from Naomi herself. You can see it as a long explanation saying why she would not be participating in any press during the tournament, going on to say she felt like reporters kicked athletes down after a loss. She then later goes on to say she has suffered bouts of depression since the U.S. Open in 2018. Now, the topic received so much attention, she said she was going to take some time away from the court. Uninterrupted, which is a brand started by LeBron James, put this question out. Should athletes be required to participate in press? This person writes, setting an example for the whole world on how to set boundaries. Well, this user writes, a good player would never use mental health as an excuse. If someone is not good in a particular surface and afraid that they will be questioned at the press conference after their early loss, then how is it a mental health issue? Now this, the Calm app seized the moment. Mental health is health. To support Naomi Osaka's decision to prioritize her mental health, Calm is donating $15,000 to LaRousse Sport in France, an organization doing incredible work in the mental health space to transform the lives of young people through the power of sport. They went on to tweet, but this is bigger than any individual player. Calm will also pay the fine for players opting out of the 2021 Grand Slam media appearances for mental health reasons, and we will match the fine with a $15,000 donation to LaRousse Sport. And then before we discuss this circulated video of Marshawn Lynch at a press conference. This also came out through this topic.
So you won't get fined?
Just here so I won't get fined.
Does it bother you with all the attention and they just want you to talk when you really don't?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I pretty much know why you won't talk. Is it because you don't trust anyone or they could misconstrue your words?
Just so I won't get fined, boss.
Are you still about that action, boss?
Just here so I won't get fined.
I appreciate you, man.
All right, guys, so definitely a very, very touchy subject. I have to be honest here. I believe that mental health is such a big deal and you have to take care of your mental health. At the same time, when you think about the marketing aspect and the money behind these big contracts or these big purses that these athletes win, people want to hear from these professional athletes. So it's a tricky one in my head. What are you guys seeing on social?
I think we're seeing a lot of response, a lot of athletes, a lot of celebrities speaking up on Naomi's behalf, supporting her, showing their support. I think what's important to note here too is that there was an interest for her to try to make the process better, right? I think they all understand as athletes, like they do have obligations, but you also have to understand it from their perspective. And that 2018 US Open clip resurfaced where she won because she won against Serena, and the crowd was booing her for winning. Well, I couldn't take that at my age now. She's like at least 10 or 15 years younger than I am, and it's your first big moment. This is a celebratory moment for you, and the crowd is booing. So yes, I can see like that is a traumatizing event. And then you're gonna go in front of reporters, and I'm now paying attention more to sports news after games.
Right.
I was listening to one yesterday after a basketball game, and I was like, oof. I mean, if these reporters are the ones bashing you and nagging you, like obviously you know you played a bad game, you lost, right? Like,
but is it bashing or is it asking a question? That's the difference, being from the reporter's standpoint.
And I think that's where it needs improvement, right? Some sportscasters are bashing you in the terms of answering a question. So maybe is there a way to rephrase that? Like, hey, you don't need to run down the stats, but like, what could you improve for the next game? Maybe it's just like a different way to approach questions so that people's mental health, like obviously their mental health isn't going to be good after just, getting destroyed in a game.
But would you rather hear that response or not hear from them at all? And I think that is, I brought it back to our Golden Knights, our Raiders, would I not want to hear from Fleury after he's had a bad game, or just let him skip a press conference? Because I don't know, it's you want his mental health to be strong, so it's very, very important. But at the same time, what happened, dude? You know, I have season tickets. What happened?
Yeah.
You know, so
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah.
What do you hear?
And also the press conferences are just like a long-standing tradition that they've done these. So I think out of all of this, it's a good time to maybe just look at this. Do we need to have a news conference? I don't know. Like, I'm not the expert. And again, as a former reporter, I also kind of feel like, well, you can't blame the reporter. That's their job.
Right.
And if you can't handle it, maybe this isn't the business for you. But maybe it is a time to look at, do we need to have these news conferences? What does it bring? So I think it's a good idea to just, for them to finally start looking at this. We've always done it this way. Do we need to keep doing it this way?
And I think that's the key, because there's always a way to better a process. If you think a process is perfect, well, that's your first mistake. So there's always ways to improve it. Maybe you limit how many media press conferences one has to do. They don't have to do it if they lose. You know, there are ways to work it out. But I do think it's just a really touchy topic because people were very, very passionate about it. So in our Trending Vegas newsletter, I asked for your thoughts, and I thought this was an interesting perspective from Marjorie Jones. She says, I applaud Miss Osaka for choosing herself over her so-called career obligation. Obviously, she understands that when her mind is whole, everything else that is intended to fall into place will. The naysayers who see no value in her other than as a vehicle of their insatiable need to be entertained by any means necessary will discard her like yesterday's bad news when the next hopeful comes along. I thought that was really interesting because it is true, and I do think that athletes do need some mental health help in that aspect because we are so focused on the physical. All right, guys, next let's move on to the viral video that everyone was talking about after a woman pushed a bear off of a wall in an effort to save her dogs. Here's a look from ABC News. A 17-year-old wasted no time fending off a huge bear, pushing it off a wall before it could get to dogs, including her mother's service dog in her backyard. So I saw someone say, how dare she push the bear?
I just want to say that experts, just to get it out there, experts do not condone this behavior
No, they
of
do not.
pushing a bear. It was like, I felt like I watched it a couple times and I almost had to be like, wait, did that really, did you know what I mean?
I was
like,
wondering if
that
it was
happened?
photoshopped. Yeah, I didn't
Like
know
you
if it was...
just like ran out there and like pushed the bear? Like, I
What do you do? Your adrenaline takes over. You're trying to save your dogs. There's a bear in your backyard. Somebody said, control your dogs from barking. And I thought, well, I would want my dog to bark and alert me that there's a bear in the backyard.
Yeah.
But I would also almost want the dog to like then come in, like bark and then like
Yeah, that's when
come
you want
in.
your dog to be a scaredy cat and run in the house.
Yeah, I know, it was crazy. I couldn't believe that happened. But I mean, I don't have animals, but I know people feel like animals are their children. So yeah, I would do that if it was my child. So yeah, I can understand, like it kicks in and you just do whatever you have to do.
Thank God everyone was okay, so thank goodness. Okay, finally before we go, if you have not seen the latest documentary to come out on our city, it is a must-see. Las Vegas, the 30s came out last month and it has already been a hit. The city tweeted out, watch now, the city of Las Vegas, the 30s. The documentary focuses on how the Hoover Dam, gambling, weddings, divorces, and more helped shape our city. So I just wanted to talk about this briefly because the numbers on this are already great. What are you guys seeing in terms of engagement and viewers for this?
Well, people love history, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. They love the history. People are just fascinated by the history of Las Vegas. So we had an event to kind of kick off this new series, and people came. It was a great event. Everyone just loves it. So I think the next step would be, are we going to do the 40s?
It's really amazing how much people love, I don't know, there's just some excitement when you see, because I think you look at all of our buildings and all the glitz and glamour and you think, wow, how did this get here? Well, now these things see. So where can people watch it?
You can watch it on YouTube. So the KCLV YouTube channel has all of the videos. It is also living on our Facebook profile. So if you don't know how to use YouTube or find it on YouTube, visit facebook.com/City of Las Vegas, go to videos, and it should be one of our featured videos. All of the videos are on YouTube. You can sit down for a whole afternoon and watch, the first, second, and third episodes and gear up for what's more to come.
Awesome. All right, great topics. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, now that we are back to full capacity, summer camps are back, and there is still time to sign up your kids. Plus, lifeguard jobs are still up for grabs. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. my new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, so many parents have been stressed over what to do with kids over the summer break. COVID really threw things and programs for a loop. But some good news, those summer camps you rely on and the kids love are back. Plus, pools are also open, which means lifeguard jobs are open and available as well. I'm joined by Rachel Harmon and Joyce Barrow Henderson from Parks and Rec to tell us more. This is such amazing news, right?
Yes, absolutely, Melissa.
So thanks for being here, guys. So let me go and start with you, Joyce. Summer camps. We thought at first it was just going to be the Vegas Strong Academy, which helped with kids during the school year. But now summer camps are back.
Yes.
So when you say that, what are we talking about? Summer camps, like week-long camps or what?
So we're doing summer day camps at all of our centers. So we have 7 sites that we're hosting summer camp from 7 in the morning until 6 at night. Wow. And we are thrilled.
Yeah.
While we really were excited to be able to provide the essential function of Vegas Strong and to support our community in that way, we're recreators at heart. So when the call came that we were going to be able to offer summer camp, we were through the moon.
What kind of summer camps are we talking about? Do they specialize in anything, or is it just kind of everything all in one, we're going to do it all?
So it's a welcome back, really. So each of the centers are going to show the kids and the parents kind of what we've offered and what we are going to be offering moving forward. Okay. So each week it will be a change up, but the theme this summer is Planet Play. So it's all about play, all about reconnecting and the importance of play. Most of the centers are decorated in a space theme, so decorations are everywhere. So we're really excited about really being able to go in and help the kids reconnect, tap into that social emotional learning, and just having a good time.
Yeah, the social aspect is so important. Yes. And I know that when my kids went back to school, they were so excited, and then it felt like, boom, school year ended.
Yes.
You know, and now what are we going to do? So it's nice that they have this option. So how does the summer camps work? What are the hours? What are the ages? Do they provide lunch? No? How does that work?
So some sites do. So once your child has completed kindergarten, they're welcome to come to our program. At some of our sites, we do offer breakfast and lunch. That would be Marabelli Community Center, Doolittle Community Center, Stupak Community Center, and East Las Vegas Community Center. We are offering camp all the way up to 15 years of age. Okay. So we're excited to be able to have that broad of an age group again, back in our rec centers. So they swim. Yes. Thank you, Rachel. Yes. So we're able to take them to the swimming pool, and again, like I said, we have different specialties during the week. We're bringing in-house field trips in. Camp Kindness is back this year. It's our mission. Our mission is kindness, so we're breaking down the attributes of kindness, which has always been a huge hit in summer. So we're really, again, I can't tell you how thrilled we are to get back to the basics of summer camp and the camp songs and building those lifelong memories with the kids. And then they just come back to school just so much more confident. They're able to make friends and learn how to, play a game and get out and get back in again. And,
absolutely.
Just
lose,
those,
win, all those things you need to learn.
Yeah, the regular things of being a kid that kind of were put on pause during the pandemic.
So let's talk about cost and enrollment. Is there space still available, and how much does it cost?
So space is still available at all of our sites. And cost this year, we were really mindful that people were going to be getting back to work. So we didn't do the specialty camps like we normally do. So there's just a flat fee of $100 a week.
Okay.
So we thought that was pretty affordable to kind of help parents get back, into the swing of things. We're also offering a really liberal scholarship program. So even if that is something that is going to hinder parents, it shouldn't. Please come in, talk to our staff, and we really are here to help. It's important that our kids have access to our rec centers.
Absolutely.
We know that it changes lives.
Yeah, it really does change lives. Summer camps or activities, they stuck with me. I grew up swimming.
Lovely.
And I was on the swim team, and I was there every day, and my lifelong friends were kids I grew up with on that
Yes,
swim team.
lovely.
So it's a big deal. So let's talk about swimming because
Yes.
the pools are open.
Yes.
You have all these pools at summer camps, you know,
Yes.
and you need lifeguards.
We desperately need lifeguards, Melissa.
Okay.
Joyce mentioned the camps are visiting the pools, but in order for the pools to remain open and the camps to continue coming and you, the public, to continue coming, we need guards so that we can stay open and stay safe.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, as of today, we have 1 pool out of 6 that will not be open due to lack of staff. Baker Pool just got this beautiful renovation on St. Louis and Maryland Parkway, but unfortunately we do not have staff to work there. I'm also short at other sites. So we are offering discounted lifeguard training classes.
Okay.
If you are 15 or older, lifeguard training class is $160. It's a
Okay.
19-and-a-half-hour course, but this year it's $38.
What?
Yes, $38.
Wow.
We are trying to fill these classes. We have a class taking place right now at Municipal Swimming Pool downtown, and we will be offering the class at Municipal Pool throughout the entire summer so that we can get staff at the pools. The awesome news is that our staff are receiving a $2 raise. So my $11 an hour lifeguards will be making $13 an hour.
Wow.
Coming from California, that is awesome. Okay?
Okay.
They are getting raises. My water safety instructors will be up to $15 an hour, and my pool managers will be making $17 an hour.
Wow.
So as soon as the raise got approved, we were all ecstatic,
Yeah.
and we are hoping that the doors will knock down with applicants coming. So even if you're
Absolutely.
not certified and you want to be a lifeguard, if you're a strong swimmer and comfortable in deep water, please come out to us. We would love to certify you and have you work for us.
Now, if you go through the certification, does it almost guarantee a job or not? You still have to apply for the position.
It does almost guarantee a job, as we do have a pre-employment swim test that you must pass also.
Okay.
The pre-employment swim test is very easy. You must
Okay.
swim 100 yards in a minute, 45 seconds or faster. You, as a former swimmer,
Right.
knows that is great.
Yes.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And then we even offer the lifeguard position for year-round jobs, because we
Wow.
have 2 pools that are open year-round. So even if you work 40 hours a week for us this summer, there's a great chance you can have a year-round job at Muni or Pavilion.
Well, and let's talk about the opportunity of the age group. How old do you have to be a lifeguard? Are you looking for a specific kind of person? Does it matter? Doesn't matter.
Well, you do have to be 15 to be certified and 15 and a half to work for the city of Las Vegas.
Okay.
We're looking for anyone, any age. And all of our lifeguards currently are all ages.
Right.
My instructors are all ages also. So if you're interested in coming and you enjoy the water and enjoy working with children and adults and the public, please, please come out.
So where can people go to fill out an application or do everything that they need to do?
You do have to go online to fill out an application. You can go to www.lasvegasnevada.gov, fill out summer hiring event, lifeguard position, or if you are a certified WSI. Unfortunately, we aren't in need of many pool managers right now.
Okay.
We really need to get those lifeguards in.
Absolutely. It's very vital for the community.
Yes.
And Joyce, where can people go for summer camps? What's the website?
Same website,
Okay.
except you're going to go to our recreation website.
Okay.
And they can also come into any one of our rec centers.
Okay.
They're all open, and they're open their normal
Yes.
hours.
Great information. You guys are busy, busy, busy. We wish you
Yes.
guys nothing but the best as you go forward through the rest of the summer.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, and that's going to do it for us. Remember, you can get in and come on the conversation. Just follow us at City of Las Vegas and use the hashtag TrendingVegas. You can also watch us streaming on our Go Vegas app on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. All right, that's going to do it. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you next time.